Hello and welcome to The Secret in the Photograph. In today's video, I'm going to present to you a very interesting discovery that I recently made regarding the Jennifer Ertman and Elizabeth Peña case. And this new discovery that I found actually provides a very simple and logical reason for why the girls decided to take the shortcut through Jester Park. Now before we can get into all of that, I need to first circle back into how this discovery was made. You see, a few weeks ago, I stumbled across a very interesting photo on Pinterest. This picture was posted by a woman named Maria, and it's a picture of Elizabeth's parents, Adolfo and Melissa Peña. The parents are wearing white t-shirts with a photograph of both girls. Now, the reason that this particular photograph is important is because it appears to have been chronologically taken after the girls' high school yearbook photos. And I actually believe there's a chance that this photograph was taken on the night of the pool party, or at least very close to it. And here's why I think that this might be the case. If you look at this picture, you'll notice that Elizabeth Peña has bangs. Now if you go onto Pinterest and you look up the Jennifer Ertman and Elizabeth Peña case, you can see earlier pictures of both girls, and you'll notice that in these earlier pictures, Elizabeth never has bangs. But in this one particular photograph, she does, and that stands out to me. Another thing that stands out is that the shirt that Jennifer is wearing in this picture is not dissimilar to the one that she had laid across her head during the autopsy photos. I can't say for certain that this is the same shirt as the one that she wore to the pool party that night, but I do believe that this picture was taken very close to June 24th, 1993, if not on that night. Another thing that really stands out to me about this picture is that I noticed that Jennifer Ertman is not smiling. Jennifer and Elizabeth tend to be a little bit different in this regard. When it comes to taking photos, Elizabeth will usually smile in pretty much every picture that she's in, whether she's there by herself or with family or friends. Jennifer Ertman is usually a little bit more reserved. She'll sometimes give a half smile in pictures where she's just there by herself, but if we go back and look at the earlier pictures of Jennifer and Elizabeth together, Jennifer is always smiling. She always smiles when she takes a picture with her friends, but not on this particular night. Possibly the night of the pool party, and perhaps even the last photo that was taken of the girls. And in my opinion, this is a red flag, because at least on the surface of things, Jennifer Ertman should be having a great time right now. She's spending time with her friend Elizabeth. The two of them are going to go hang out with Gina Escamilla later on in the evening. You would think that this would be a pretty exciting night for Jennifer, but she doesn't appear to be particularly happy in this photograph, and it almost feels like something may be on her mind. I wonder if it has something to do with the fact that she's going to have to walk back home that night by herself. You see, there's something that I haven't mentioned up to this point in my video series, and that something is that Jennifer Ertman was having to let herself back into the family home with a spare key that her parents had made up for her. What I'm going to share with you next is actually going to be quite shocking, but this series is about uncovering the truth, and I want this to be known because we need to know what these girls were really up against. This information comes directly from the book Pure Murder, written by the late Corey Mitchell, who had the chance to sit down and interview both the Peñas and the Ertmans in the years after the crime. This book was written based off of interviews with the parents of the people involved, along with Mitchell's own findings. I'm going to take a minute to read a few separate articles from Pure Murder. When she turned 13, she asked her parents for her own set of house keys. It was not for sneaky, ulterior motives. The Ertmans had two doors in the back of their home. One was the regular door, and the other was a door made of metal burglar bars, which were necessary because the Ertmans lived on a nice street in one of the lower quality areas of the Heights. Jennifer wisely said, "Mom, can I have my own set of keys so I don't have to keep bothering you?" Randy dropped Jennifer off at Elizabeth Peña's house on Lamont Lane, approximately 4.5 miles away from their home. Jennifer did not lean over to give her father a kiss goodbye. She had recently gotten out of the habit due to embarrassment, being a teenager and all. "Be home by midnight," her father reminded her. Sandra felt safe about letting her daughter go out for the night with friends. Jennifer had her pager and also cash in her purse. Her mother always left $35 on Jennifer's dresser every Thursday for allowance. Jennifer also received the same amount on Sundays, and she always kept a $10 bill in her pants pocket in case of an emergency, or if she needed to call a taxi cab. Sandra made sure that her daughter knew that if she ever needed a ride home, all she needed to do was get to a payphone and call her parents. They would come to get her, no matter the situation. So yes, it's quite shocking as to what was written here in this book. Reading between the lines, it appears as though Randy and Sandra Ertman were expecting Jennifer to either walk back home that night, get a ride back from one of her friends, or take a taxi cab back to their house. I'm going to show you the path that Elizabeth and Jennifer would have taken back to Lamont Lane. Now this map is not exactly perfect, but it's a pretty close representation as to the way that they would have most likely gotten back to Elizabeth's house. According to the Google estimates, it would have taken about 35 minutes for the girls to reach Elizabeth's home on foot. Keep in mind that they were traveling at night, so the amount of time that this trip would have actually taken might have been significantly longer. As we deduced in part 2, the girls were not in the park to make their curfew because they encountered the gang at roughly the same time. Therefore, they would not have had enough time to make it back for this curfew. They were also traveling with 2 of their friends, so it would have been easier and probably safer for them to just keep heading down to the intersection of West 34th Street and TC Jester Boulevard. Alternatively, they could have also taken West 34th Street down to a road called Roslyn, which they could have taken up to Lamont Lane, and this would have put them very close to Elizabeth's house. This route would have actually been faster for the girls than had they gone back up TC Jester Boulevard, and probably even faster than the route that they tried to take through the park. Again, this gives credence to the theory that the girls were not in the park to try to make their curfew, or that the curfew even existed for them in the first place. But there is one very important piece that we must keep in mind, and that is that Jennifer Ertman had not told her parents that she was planning to spend the night at Elizabeth's house. This implies that she was planning to walk back home and would have arrived at her house well after her midnight curfew, something that her parents claimed that she had never done before. So why do I think that the girls decided to take the shortcut through TC Jester Park? Well, in my opinion, it's for the simple fact that it would have saved Jennifer Ertman a considerable amount of time in the nearly 5-mile walk that she had in front of her. If you put yourself in her position, you're out late at night in a very sketchy area of a big city. You're probably not going to want to be on the streets walking around any more than you have to. And since there's nowhere in this area that's really safe for them to be, at least according to this map from crimegrade.org, it makes sense that Jennifer would want to get back home as quickly as possible. She had a very long walk in front of her, and so it would be very much to Jennifer's advantage to do what she could to save time here and there. The other person who could have played a role in their decision to go through the park was their friend Gina Escamilla, who lived near the Clearbrook apartment complex, and could have suggested this to Jennifer if she was looking for a more expedient way of getting back home. Which gives the route that they try to take through the park an additional level of plausibility. One other thing that must be considered in all of this is that Sandra Ertman had actually spoken with her daughter when the girls were over at the Silver Creek apartment complex. Why is it that Jennifer's parents did not arrange a time to come and pick her up, leaving her instead to have to find her way back home by walking through the sketchy and dangerous streets of Houston, Texas?